Welcome to the universe in a seashell, the podcast dedicated to science, life, and girl power. I'm Kara Bartek and I'm your host. I'm a PhD, an author, and I want to make this world a more equal and opportune place, one girl at a time. Word up, guys. Welcome to the podcast, The Universe in a Seashell, the podcast dedicated to science, life, and, say it with me, ladies,
Girl power!
Girl power! Speaking of girl power, I am joined today by my two lovely and steady co-hosts, Caroline and Penny.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
And, of course, I'm Kara Bartek. Now, we're not feeling too girl power today, though, are we? Because we just had a very large dose of summer drama. Now, and I feel that if I were to write this in a story, the title of my story would be Always Listen to Your Mom. Or maybe it should be Your Mother Knows Best.
Or never wear socks and flip-flops outside when you're in the country.
Okay. Yes, that could also. Now, okay, you're probably thinking, what story are you about to drop on us? Okay, listen, my friends. So I'm normally a very big fan of the sock and sandal combo, and I get it. I know I'm a huge dork, but here's the thing: I'm a runner, and so my toenails normally fall off, and instead of like people looking at my giant corpse toes, I try to cover that stuff up with a nice little sock, okay? But that doesn't stop me from loving sandals. So a lot of times I pair the two, and I get it. I'm not going to be on the best dressed list. That's okay. I can live with that. But, you know, my gnarly toes are hidden, and I still have the comfort of the sandal. So, again, I'm not normally opposed to the sock and sandal combo. However, if you are walking outside in a patch of sticker burrs, this is not advisable footwear. Okay.
No, it's not. Don't try this at home.
So here's the deal. So again, we're out in the country and we've got a lot of little critters around. We've got skunks, we've got raccoons, we've got deer, hogs, all kinds of little things that enjoy eating our table scraps, okay? So we save them, and the girls deliver them to the creek behind our house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do.
Now, I always advise the girls to either, number one, wear their rubber boots, which they both have, and I have no clue where they're at.
Mine don't fit me.
Okay. No, I don't believe it. Or I tell them to, at the very least, wear sneakers. Well, guess what Penny decided to do? Penny, you're here. Put your mouth up to the mic, and I need you to deliver your confession. What did you do after Mommy told you to wear sneakers and socks out to the creek?
I wear flip-flops and then socks.
Okay, so what happened?
I got sticker birds.
And how did it feel? How did that make you feel after not listening to your mother?
My feet felt like blood dripping down them.
Blood dripping down them? Mm-hmm. And what did you do after all those sticker burrs embedded themselves into your soft little skin? What did I hear all of a sudden? I'm over there preparing lunch.
You heard it from outside?
Oh my gosh, I thought for sure y'all were being eaten by a pack of wild wolves.
I didn't cry. I did not cry.
No, you were just screaming.
Yeah, because Penny was like, Wah!
So anyway, folks, listen to your parents. We don't set the rules and make the rules because we love being on this giant parental power trip. It's generally to safeguard you guys from disease and death. Okay, just saying. Like, not sneezing into your lunch or other people's lunch, disease. Not jumping from high objects, death.
Jumping on.
Okay, so just a quick reminder, I want you guys to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on whatever player that you guys are listening to, because it is great feedback for me. Let me know what is working, what's not working. And it also raises the visibility of the podcast. So you know that the Universe in a Seashell is all about making this world a more equal and opportune place, one girl at a time. And I can't do that by myself, right, ladies?
No, she can't. We have to help her, but we still can't do it, all three of us.
Yeah, well, I need you guys to subscribe, rate, and review, and also tell your friends. Let them know what you're listening to. If you guys have any show topic ideas, maybe there's something that you want me to cover, maybe there's a guest you'd like me to have on, or maybe you just want a shout out, drop me a line at universeinaseashell@gmail.com. Again, that email address is universeinaseashell@gmail.com. Let me know what you guys are doing this summer as far as sky watching goes. I had some friends let me know. It was Dylan and Weston and Hank who have been watching the meteor showers, and their mom told me that they got a very special snack, which is a cool snack. They got moon pies. How awesome is that for watching a meteor?
What's moon pies?
Oh, moon pies are amazing. Moon pies are those things that your grandpa eats a lot. They kind of have like, they can either be chocolate or vanilla, and they kind of have like that marshmallow in between.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know you've seen that. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool snack. So anyway, major shout out to those three guys for hanging out and watching the meteor shower. I want to know exactly what your experience was like. So let me know. I also want to give a big shout out to three of my favorite cheerleaders, Ava, Brennan, of course, Chandler Rose. What's up, guys? I hope you are doing well. Let's see, anybody else that you guys want to give a shout out to? Any of your friends out there listening?
Allie?
Allie? Well, say. Tell your friend Allie. Get into the mic and tell your friend Allie.
Allie, you're the best friend I ever seen.
Oh, that's really nice. Aww. That's probably the nicest shout out we've ever had.
Yay.
I think we'll keep you, Penny. Even after you wore your socks and sandals and got covered in sticker burrs, that was such a nice shout out. It shows me that you're very good at heart. Give me kisses. Let me have a kiss. Mwah.
And I want to say that you're my best friend to her sister, Ava.
Okay, I'm going to have to probably bleep out that last name. We're going to try not to use last names.
Oh.
But you could say it again, but just don't use the last name.
Ava.
Okay. So anyway, have you guys downloaded your very own skywatching kit? Remember, in the show notes for this episode, you guys can sign up for my mailing list, and in return, you guys will get your very own downloadable skywatching kit made by yours truly. And then by signing up to the mailing list, you can also stay in touch with me and all of the cool things that are going to be happening on the podcast. So remember, these past few weeks and all the way up until the Perseids meteor shower, we're going to be talking all things the summer sky. So what's your favorite topic been so far, Cece?
My favorite topic was the falling stars.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Penny?
My favorite topic was the falling stars too.
You'll like the falling stars?
Which one was yours?
I think probably the falling stars as well, because that's one of my favorite things to watch is the meteor showers.
But I think the first one was pretty cool too.
Well,
the plastic pollution.
Oh, yeah. But that wasn't on our summer sky watching series. That was just one of our very first episodes of the Universe in a Seashell.
Yeah, but that one was pretty good too.
I agree. I completely agree.
Me too.
So, there is a very famous scientist who once said, "We are all made of star stuff." Now, what do you think he meant by that?
I don't know. I know we're not made of, like, gas.
Well, y'all are made of gas, okay? I'm just saying.
We are not made of gas.
So what this guy, and this is one of my truly most favorite quotes of all time. First of all, he's one of my favorite scientists. This is the very famous Carl Sagan, who is a cosmologist. He also wrote a lot of popular books to help folks like you and me understand the universe. What he was trying to say is that we are connected to the stars in a way that's much more fundamental than us just kicking back and checking them out. We're actually made of the same stuff that stars are made of. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is what exactly stars are, what are they made of, how do we identify them, and what are they all about? Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because guess what's happening tonight? There is a very cool event happening, which is the black moon, which means it is the new moon that is occurring twice in 1 month. And that will give us a very rare opportunity to see deep space objects. Of course, you're probably going to need binoculars or a telescope to see those. But of course, if you don't have them, that's okay. Everything else in the night sky is going to be much more luminous because the moon is going to be black. We'll be able to see things. And so it won't be shining and kind of dulling all the other objects. So we'll especially be able to see the stars. So what do you guys think stars are made of? So if we're all made of star stuff, do you think stars are made of like bones and that like wiggly jelly in your ear and like boogers, or what do you think?
No, I know they're
golden.
Oh, they're golden? Make sure you're talking to the mic, hon.
I think they're golden, and they look like golden because they're gold.
You think they're made out of gold?
I know that they're made of gas, for one.
Yeah, but not the kind of gas that has a tendency to escape in the car, right?
Yeah.
We have to roll down the windows. This is different. So a star is an astronomical object that consists of a luminous spheroid of plasma that's actually being held together by its own gravity. And see, here's the deal. Our star's life begins with the gravitational collapse of a gaseous nebula of material composed primarily of hydrogen, along with helium and trace amounts of other heavier elements that, oh, by the way, we're made out of. We're just kind of slightly different composed. So while a star is this huge burning ball of plasma, we're just configured in a slightly different way. It's all made of the same elements that we are, okay? A star shines basically because of this cool scientific principle called thermonuclear fusion, okay? Now, what fusion is two nuclei, which, you know, that's the very inner core of any atom. When they join together, it creates this huge reaction, okay? Now, in thermonuclear fusion, this reaction is being pushed forward. It's made to happen because it's just so stinking hot, okay? So that's why they call it thermonuclear fusion. Okay, so it's for a star, it's the fusion of hydrogen and helium in its core, and it releases energy that traverses the star's interior and then radiates out into outer space. So that's why we see stars as being these big glowing objects, right?
Like it just like bursts out.
Yeah, it like burst out, and now this is not let me make sure I make a very important distinction. Okay, stars shine and stars also twinkle, okay? Now the reason that stars shine is because of the thermonuclear fusion, these reactions that are happening in the star's plasma ball, okay? Now, but stars twinkle because of a very different principle. Do you know what that is? Do you know why stars twinkle? Okay. Stars twinkle, or they appear to twinkle to us because of our atmosphere.
So they like flick on, flick off, flick on. That's twinkling.
Yeah, that's the twinkling. So they're shining because of the fusion, but they are twinkling because of our atmosphere. Our atmosphere is actually interfering with the radiation that's coming off of the stars.
I always see them turn, if you ever don't do this because your mom will get very mad at you. If you turn off the light and then turn it back on, that's how it seems to me always.
Okay, how do you know this? Has this been an unauthorized flicking of the switches around the house?
Yes.
Duly noted, Caroline, duly noted. But anyway, so again, stars shine because of fusion, but they twinkle because of our atmosphere. Now, there's all kinds of different stars. Have you guys learned about the different kind of stars?
There's blue stars, red
Pink
stars.
Yeah, there's and they vary based upon color and size, okay? All right, so the very first star that we're going to talk about, and this is all coming from Universe Today, which is a pretty cool website, is a protostar. And a protostar is really what happens before a star is actually formed. And it's just a collection of gas that has collapsed down to a giant molecular cloud.
Not the gas.
Yeah, because a nebula, not the gas that Penny likes to release after a nice meal of lots and lots of beans, right? No, that's a different gas. But anyway, so the nebula, which are these big, giant gas clouds in outer space, which, by the way, if you look at pictures from the Hubble and other of these deep space images, all of those beautiful clouds that kind of pink and orange and sometimes blue, that's the nebula. That's those gas clouds, okay? Now, when those things start to kind of collapse down and gravity begins to take hold, that's when stars start to form, okay? And so this very first star, this very first type of star is the protostar. And proto means beginning, right? Like a prototype.
Yeah.
So when people make inventions, the very first thing that they will release before they actually release the invention is a thing called a prototype.
A prototype robot?
I was thinking the exact same thing. We need some robots around here, huh?
Beep, boop, Bobby, boo.
Okay, no robot beeping, okay? Just saying, no robot beeping. So over time, gravity and pressure increase, and it forces the protostar to collapse down. All of that energy being released by the protostar comes out from the heating caused by the gravitational energy. But this is what's important about a protostar. Nuclear fusion has not yet begun, okay? Because it's just not quite hot enough. Now, there's another star that happens right after the protostar, and that's called the T-Tauri star. And this is a stage in a star's formation that comes right before the main sequence star, okay? And this phase occurs at the end of the protostar phase when the gravitational pressure holding the star together is the source of all of its energy. Now, T-Tauri stars don't have enough pressure and temperature at their cores to generate nuclear fusion yet, right? Because we need what to create this type of fusion in a star.
What they're called has a lot of T's.
Yep, it is. But what do we need to create that nuclear reaction? Because this type of fusion is different.
Hot.
Hot heat, okay? But they do start to resemble regular old stars, okay?
So they start forming into a star, but they're not as hot yet?
They're not as hot, and then they're not as hot. Okay, I'm getting tongue-tied again. I think y'all like that. Seashells by the seashore. Wait, you try it now.
Seashells by the seashore.
Okay, let me try not to get tongue-tied on this next fact. But stars will remain in this T-Tauri stage for about 100 million years.
100 million?
100 million years. That's crazy, right?
It takes 100 million years just to get it to the right temperature to form this, to make it too hot enough to form that.
Well, and this is the thing, guys, that's so amazing about you and I sitting down here on Earth and looking up at the stars. We are literally looking back in time, okay? Because not only are these stars extremely old, but the time that it takes to get down to where we're at and we can actually visually see, billions and billions and billions of light years. We don't even know. These stars may not even be in existence anymore, but it takes billions and billions of light years. By us looking up into the sky, we're literally looking back in history. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. So yes.
And like stars are being born. Just things are happening in our life.
Yep.
Is the podcast almost done yet?
Penny just asked, is the podcast almost done? You can go lay down. It's okay. You can go lay down. Okay, the next type of star is the main sequence star. Now, these type of stars actually comprise basically all of the stars in our galaxy, or the majority of them, and also the universe. The sun is a main sequence star, and so are our nearest star neighbors, which is Sirius and Alpha Centauri A. Main sequence stars can vary in size, mass, and brightness, but they're all doing the same thing, converting hydrogen into helium at their core, and they're releasing a ton of energy. So that's what we feel on hot days, right?
Like, woo!
Yeah. Is the energy that's being released from our main sequence star, the sun.
So all the rays are like that energy bursting out?
Absolutely. And it's called radiation. A radiation. You got to say it like that. You got to roll the R. A radiation.
Radiation.
So a star that's actually in the main sequence state is in what's called hydrostatic equilibrium. So this is a big scientific word, but it's kind of cool. Hydrostatic equilibrium. And that means that the gravity that's pulling inward and the light pressure from all the fusion reactions in the star pushing outward, it's even.
Hydrostatic equilibrium.
Okay, let's try it again. Hydrostatic equilibrium.
Hydrostatic equilibrium.
Yeah. And this really makes stars like this very safe, because basically what this means is that they're not going to go and do anything crazy like explode in our face. Okay, because we don't want that, especially from our own sun.
No.
We want the sun to remain pretty stable. Hey, the good news is it is stable. Oh, Penny's back. Penny's back. So the next type of star is a red giant star. Now, stars become red giants when the star has consumed its stock of hydrogen in its core and fusion stops and the star no longer generates an outward pressure to counteract the inward pressure pulling it all together. So all of a sudden it becomes huge.
Can I ask you something? Is it red?
Absolutely.
Can it come in any other colors?
Well,
Like
let's
blue?
follow along. Let's see.
Okay.
The shell of hydrogen around its core ignites, continuing the life of the star, but it causes it to increase in size dramatically. The aging star that becomes a red giant can be 100 times larger than when it was in its main sequence phase. Can you imagine?
So it's pretty big in the main sequence, and then
It gets 100 times bigger. So this is like what we don't want to happen to our sun. Because what would happen if all of a sudden our sun became 100 times larger?
oh jeez.
Do you think we have enough sunscreen for that?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The sun would just like fill up our entire sky.
Yeah, it totally would.
We'd have to get a whole truckload or a whole bathtub and just take a bath in sunscreen.
I feel like you thought this through. That sounds like a pretty well thought out plan there. Taking a bath in sunscreen.
You'd have to
This gives me a huge insight into your mind. And I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. So anyway, the next star is the white dwarf star. So a white dwarf happens when a star completely runs out of hydrogen fuel in its core and it lacks the mass to force higher elements into fusion reaction, and it becomes a white dwarf. So the outward light pressure from the fusion reaction stops and the star collapses inward under its own gravity, okay? So, but a white dwarf shines because it was a hot star once, but there's no fusion reactions happening anymore. Now, the white dwarf will cool down until it becomes the background temperature of the universe, okay? And this process may take hundreds of billions of years.
Hundreds of billions of years?
Yeah. So all of the white dwarfs that exist out in the universe, none of them have actually cooled down yet. Okay.
They're still hot?
Still hot. Still hot.
Oh,
How did these feel hot?
hundreds of billions of millions of years. Oh, jeez.
It's Loco and the Coco. Loco and the Coco.
That's a long time. We'll be dead by then. So,
Yes. Yes.
just
Okay. Now, the next type of star is the red dwarf. Okay. And red dwarfs are the most common kind of stars in the universe other than the main sequence stars. Okay. These are main sequence stars that have a very low mass and they're much cooler than stars like our sun. But they have another advantage. Red dwarf stars are able to keep the hydrogen fuel mixing into their core, and so they can basically conserve their fuel for much longer times than any other stars. Astronomers estimate that some red dwarf stars will burn up upwards of 10 trillion years. Okay?
that's a long time.
Yes.
10 trillion years. Yeah, so here this is, not only are stars amazing because they're bright and beautiful and they're really lovely to look at, but they are so stinking old. Like it's difficult to even wrap our minds around how old they are.
Stars are older than our grandpa.
Like,
Quote it. That's going to be Caroline's very first famous quote. Stars are older than our grandpa. He's pretty old too.
Our grandpa's 72. That's pretty old.
Yeah, but he acts pretty young, doesn't he?
He might live till he's like 107.
Yeah, but just think about how grouchy he's going to be if he's 107.
jeez.
Because he's grouchy now.
My grandma told me that his family lives for his mom and dad live for a long time, so she said that he might live for a long time.
Yeah, he's got longevity in his genes. Absolutely. You know,
So,
that's a very
Who knows?
That's a very strong predictor
not-
of how long you're going
but
to live.
not in sweatpants.
Not in sweatpants?
What
Okay,
are you
I'm going to tell
talking
you this,
about?
Penny, right now. If I live till I'm 107, I'm going to be wearing sweatpants Honestly, right now, if I could, if it wasn't like 100 degrees outside, I'd be in sweatpants right now. Along with socks and sandals, that's a very large part of my attire, sweatpants. Don't you think, Penny? Like, they're perfect because they have an
And
elastic waistband and they're soft.
And a sweater with socks?
It's amazing.
Ugh.
Okay, so look, we're getting off topic again. And I fully blame Penny because Penny had a failed attempt at a nap, which basically she stomped into the other room and then stomped back and looked at us like super ugly. She like gave us like, ah.
We had to stop the podcast and tell her not to annoy us, and so
Now
now we're back on.
my sleepy.
Okay, but listen, you have to act right, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to send you back outside in that sticker patch, okay?
With no shoes on.
No shoes on. I'm going to stick you in that sticker patch. Just stick.
We'll place you over the fence, Penny. And you'll
Do
be
you
like,
believe us, Penny?
and you'll be like, ah!
That would be mommy's fault.
It'd be mommy's fault. I know, everything's mom's fault. Everything's mom's fault. Okay. But anyway, back to the stars. So our next star that we're going to be talking about is a neutron star. And it's a star that's between 1.35 and 2.1 times the size of the mass of the sun. And it doesn't form when a white dwarf dies. Instead, the star dies in a catastrophic supernova explosion, and the remaining core becomes a neutron star. Okay? Now, a supernova, this is something that we need to talk about. A supernova is basically a star explosion.
So it explodes in our face?
Yeah. And there have been some astronomers who have actually recorded these supernovas. So this is like a real-time event of stars exploding. Okay? Now, back to the neutron star. Now, as the name implies, a neutron star is an exotic type of star that is composed entirely of neutrons. Okay? Now, what was important about nuclear fusion? What are the two things that are joining together?
These
Protons and neutrons.
It's neutrons. So the fusion reaction happens because these neutrons are coming together in this massive thing, which, by the way, this is also how nuclear weapons work, like bombs. Right, it's fusion. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So this is some serious firepower, my friends.
Did those neutron stars inspire those bombs?
Well, I think that the idea of fusion, yes, they essentially became weaponized, which is kind of an unfortunate part of science, but it's a reality. And yes, they used this amazing understanding to basically kind of hurt people. So that stinks, but it takes really bright and wonderful scientists like you and your sister to use it for good, right?
Like food?
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Maybe y'all could use some fusion to make a giant bowl of popcorn.
Maybe we can use it to make an exploding cupcake.
Okay, I'm gonna have to vote against the exploding cupcakes because I generally like them to just like be in my mouth and feel like if they're exploding, that could like pop my eyeballs out or something, or like maybe make the top of my skull fly off. I don't know.
Like your teeth fall out.
No,
Penny said, and like your teeth fall out. And I like my teeth.
No, and it explodes with sprinkles everywhere.
Okay, I could get down with the sprinkle explosion. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. Okay, now, a neutron star is, again, composed entirely of neutrons, and this is because of the intense gravity of the neutron star. So they are super, super, super dense, okay? And it crushes protons and electrons together to form these neutrons. And if the stars are even more massive, they will become black holes instead of neutron stars after the supernova goes off. So this is how dense these guys are. They're basically one step away from being a black hole. And again, black holes are the most dense things in our universe. It's cray-cray.
Like the stars are really black holes.
Well, stars can become black holes. Yeah. If they really collapse in on themselves. Now, there's also a super giant star, and obviously these are the largest stars in the universe. They are dozens of times the mass of the sun, and unlike any other relatively stable star, like the sun and the other main sequence stars, supergiants are consuming hydrogen fuel at an enormous rate and will consume all of the fuel in their cores within just a few million years. So if you think about it in star timelines, these guys are going to live and die very quickly because we've got these red dwarfs that can burn up to 10 trillion years. But these guys, these supergiants, are burning up so much fuel, they may only last a few million years. Okay? Now, supergiants live fast and die young, detonating at a supernova. Okay? And they basically completely disintegrate themselves in that process.
I was gonna ask if they explode like the ones that explode.
Yep.
I like
Yeah,
things
so-
exploding.
So when stars are born, till the moment that they die, they're just basically getting ready for this giant explosion. It's kind of cool. They literally go off with a bang. Yeah. Now, let's talk about some of the stars that we can actually see with our naked eye. Okay? So the first star, this is one of the brightest stars in our night sky, is Sirius. Okay? And this is in the constellation Canis Major. It's a binary star, which is almost as twice as bright as Canopus, the next brightest star. So this is basically 100% brighter than the next brightest star. That's how bright this guy is, okay? And it is one of Earth's nearest star neighbors, and it's about 8.6 light years away.
Like, really far?
Yeah, it's really far, but it's the closest to Earth.
Hi, I'm Sirius.
Okay, what was that? I don't even know. What was
It
that?
says Sirius.
Oh,
Now do you get it?
it took me a moment.
But
It
what
took me a
is
moment.
that rainbow word?
Okay, what rainbow word?
I'm serious.
Oh, that's serious. Yeah.
Hi, I'm serious. I'm very serious.
I'm very serious.
That's how you can remember the star Sirius. Hi, I'm very serious. I am serious.
Hi, I'm serious. I'm very serious.
OMG. What am I listening to? At
But can I tell you something? Explosion. What if we make a ball explosion with a lot of tiny balls and don't hit us? They just move past us. What if he did that?
Penny, I definitely think it's time for your nap. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's talk about the next brightest star in the sky. That's Canopus. That's in the constellation Carina. It's, again, one of the top 10 brightest stars. One of the interesting facts is it's not visible anywhere in Europe, okay? This is the brightest star, and this is a southern, so you and I can't see this. This is in the southern hemisphere, and it's a southern constellation. Only those guys down south can see it, okay? And its color is kind of yellowish white.
Ooh.
Now, it's 310 light years from our solar system, okay? Now, here is one. This is almost as good as Beetlejuice. Okay, this one is called Rigel Centaurus. Wait, hold on. And it's in the constellation Centaurus. Okay, so Rigel Centaurus, or Rigel Kent, or Alpha Centauri is the brightest naked eye star in the constellation of Centaurus. Okay?
Can we see a star?
Yes. Alpha Centauri is the third brightest star in the entire sky. It's also the closest star to our solar system at 4.37 light years away from the sun. Now, our fourth brightest star is Arcturus. Now, this is my favorite one to say. Well, besides Beetlejuice, because I like saying Beetlejuice. Arcturus.
Arcturus.
Now, this is in the constellation Boots, and it is the fourth brightest star. It is in the northern hemisphere. It's relatively close to us at 36.7 light years away from the sun. Arcturus is a red giant. And scientists think that it's about 7.1 billion years old.
That's long.
That's really old.
Okay, now the next one is Vega.
Vega.
Vega is in Lyra. Now,
Lyra.
Lyra, do you remember what Lyra is in the shape of? What Lyra means? It's the harp, kind of like the hand harp, okay?
Oh,
So-
yeah, like you have a harp,
Yes, but
But-
I never played that kind of harp.
but it's the one like if you ever see old pictures of angels, if you ever see how they hold that like harp that they can hold,
Yeah,
And
they
they,
call
like-
it a
like-
lyre. Yeah,
play it.
yeah,
That's what it
absolutely.
is.
It's like a hand harp. Now, it's pretty close to us. It's about 25 light years away from the sun, and With Arcturus and Sirius, it's one of the most luminous stars in the sun's neighborhood.
Hi, I'm serious. I'm very serious.
Hi, I'm very serious.
So again, guys, these are the stars that are going to be easiest to see in the night sky. Of course, you have to make sure that you're in the correct hemisphere. Sirius, Canopus, Alpha Centauri, Arcturus, and of course, Vega. Now, I think four of these, and I just want to make sure, I believe four of these are going to be in the northern hemisphere.
Hi, I'm serious.
So us folks here in America and Texas and all those good places, we should be able to see them. Now, of course, our southern neighbors should be able to see this beautiful star, Canopus, in the constellation Carina. Carina's such a beautiful name, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
But it's
So-
annoying.
So, guys, that's all I've got to say about stars. What do you guys think about stars?
I love stars. There's
So,
so many stars.
Are we going to go out and watch some stars tonight
Yes.
on the rare black moon?
Yes. But
So,
where's
guys-
the snakes?
That does present a problem.
Yeah.
That does present a problem. But anyway, I just want to wish everybody out there happy sky watching. Please be safe. Always talk to your parents when you're going outside to watch the sky. Make sure that they know. Make sure you're taking the appropriate precautions. Also, I wanted to thank you guys for listening. We're really enjoying our experience here at the University. Oh, I'm tongue-tied again.
In a seashell.
Say it for me. The universe in a seashell.
The universe in the seashell.
I'll try to be less tongue-tied. Remember, subscribe, rate, and review. Thanks for listening.